Guys, karibu tena yet to another episode. Help me say politics. Hey! Siasa, politics. Jamani. And today, by the way, we want to talk about UDA grassroots elections. Zimefika. Not too far from Friday. Nataka kuongea tujue what is happening. Remember, when the United Democratic Alliance took office, they said they want to build a party that will rule for the next 100 years. But then, what does it take for a party to rule for 100 years? Look at the Communist Party, the Republicans and all those in the United States, China, South Africa, ANC and all those. Can you track their efforts, their commitment into building a national party and a party that can rule for more than 50 to 100 years or even for eternity? That is what UDA promised us. But a very good question we are starting this episode to ask. Will UDA stand the test of time until 2027, 2032 and continuing to 100 years as they said? Now, UDA 2022 was their first elections. Hawakuwa wamefanya a major elections zenye zingetingiza a party. And for you to test a party, either it is strong, either it has members when you are strong, committed to push the party, we must first have elections. Parties, people leave parties because they feel betrayed. That is the first thing. People leave parties because they feel that they are not given enough as they deserve. People leave parties because they feel they don't belong there. Either they are not accommodated with their agendas, the agendas of their party does not really line well with their own agendas, the party interest does not augur well with their interest, personal interest of course, or maybe the people they are supporting does not support the party they belong. Now, what does it take to build a party, a national party, and a party that can go to 100 years? We have a lot. We have parties that we can learn from. ANC in South Africa, the Communist Party in Chinese, and all the Republican in the US. Those are the parties that we can learn from. Will UDA be or create a genesis of making a national party that can rule for the next 100 years? A permanent party, so to say. Will that happen? Then what? This is the test ahead of the United Democratic Alliance grassroots elections. That is where UDA will be tested, and that is where UDA will be put into a political test. And of course, after that, we will realize, hapo ndo utaanza kuona people, trust me, people will be moving out because they will feel, mazi, what I wanted is not what I got. Trust me, before 2027, we shall be witnessing massive exodus, either to UDA or out of UDA. That is before 2027. And after the grassroots level that I stated on Friday, we are going to experience a major exodus. Recently, Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja alisema anataka kuwa the head of UDA in, the chairperson of UDA in Nairobi. But you know what? Sources have it that he aliitwa kule State House and they talked and he told, hey guy, Sakaja, concentrate on your work in Nairobi and leave alone the chairmanship position or the leadership of UDA in Nairobi. And sources of also have it, waliongea, they had a conversation and they said, hey, Gakuyo James of the Northern Embakasi will be taking over the chairmanship. Those are just sources. And of course, maybe after the elections, we don't know what will happen. If they happen, well and good. But again, that is another source telling you, maybe this gentleman, na alisema, the pressure will not move him out. The pressure will not make him not to go for the seat. But a very good question we are going to ask. Will UDA stand the test of time? That is the first question. Will UDA stand the test of betrayal? Will UDA stand the test of regional politics? As much as they won, remember they were just new and they sold the hustler narrative that really penetrated through the votes, through the regions of through the voting blocks of our country. Now, what does it take for this party to be national and of course to rule that 100 years? They are saying they must accommodate every individual from every corner of our country. One, Mount Kenya region, the Vote region, Coast, Nyanza, Ukambani, all that. They must, and of course, one of it, tunasemaga, like we assume that they are very important, Western region. UDA must understand how to maneuver that. Of course, has it understood the assignment of bringing all the regions together? Somehow yes, somehow no. Look at the leadership of UDA. Cecily Mbarire, the chairperson, the chair lady, Mount Kenya. Look at the SG from Western. Look at the vice chair from Omar from Coast. So somehow they have manifested on how to link those regions together, and that can really help them. But again, interest, my guys, interest in politics. Will interest bring, will political interest allow UDA to rule for the next 100 years? Some people said that there are some political here and there between the deputy president that hata yeye kuna vile Kapati, you remember they were saying that he wanted to frustrate UDA, Jubilee members, so that he can have something on the table. Maybe to give you just a hint on that. Najua, in politics you must have something on the table, and if you don't have something, be ready to be frustrated. When Ruto was frustrated by the Jubilee government, he had something on the table, and what is the thing? He had a very strong team behind him to form the United Democratic Alliance Party. And that gave him some power, political power. Even as much as he was protected by the constitution, he had political powers zenye zingemfanya abagain. But what do Gachagua has? There's a very, very, very genuine question we need to ask ourselves. What if the team says, hey bro, we're moving? Can he really move and pull the massive crowd, a former party now, aende? What happens? As much as they're calling themselves brother, bro, nini. In politics, my brothers, in politics, my sisters, my guys, anything can happen. And if it happens, itakuwaje? This is the time we want to see. And of course, after the elections, the grassroots elections, leave around the 2027 and all that, the grassroots elections, that is where we are going to, they are going to determine whether this party is going to rule for the years they said or not. And look at them inside the party itself. Gachagua is there, Kimani Ichung'wah is there, Ndindi Nyoro is there. Those people themselves, they will determine on whether the party is going to rule for the next 100 years or not. That's why I told you, interest. They have their own interest. They have their own needs, personal interest, and of course the national politics, and of course their own personal interest. What am I getting out of this? That is a very big question that will be ringing into the minds of UDA people as even they are heading to the grassroots level. After that, we shall be coming again with another episode to determine whether UDA is going to survive the test of time or not. Look at ODM. Watu wamekuwa kimove massive exodus since its formation, lakini kuna wale watu wamekuwa, at least it has been moving and making some changes. It's a very good question. We should be moving into that. And to you, do you think UDA is going to survive the test of time and rule the country for the next 100 years? Do you think UDA is going to be like those other national parties in US, Communist Party, South Africa, ANC, or what? And another point, that maybe they will. Look, they are making a merger between the ANC, Ford Kenya, PA, all those. Will that make them strong enough to maneuver the political temperature? Good question to you. Remember to subscribe, share, comment, and like. And of course, click the notification bell so that you can receive our subsequent episode on this and many more others. My name is Jackson Chacha. Let's continue. Politics, my guys. Politics, my guys.